Hey, what's happening, guys? On the move because I'm going to play some Pokemon Go with my boy JoJo. But I wanted to get sure I got this story in real quick. So here we go. This one is about, if you haven't heard, they're holding the Game of Thrones people HBO by the throat, yo. They ain't playing no games, cyber hackers. The HBO hackers are demanding $7.5 million to stop leaking Game of Thrones. Story by April Glaser. The HBO hack is finally starting to make sense. Last week, hackers released upcoming episode of Ballers in Room 104 and script material from an unaired Game of Thrones episode, the network's most popular show. But at that time, it wasn't clear what their motives was. Money, politics, powers, lols. Now the hackers have made their intentions clear. They want lots of money. On Monday, the hackers who allegedly seized 1.5 terabytes of data from the hit-making television network released even more stolen loot, including script summaries for the next 5 episodes of Game of Thrones, as well as a script and entire season of other HBO shows. The leak also included a month's worth of emails from an HBO executive, as well as what appeared to be the contact list of HBO's chief executive Richard Ploper, which The Guardian reported contained the personal phone numbers of Game of Thrones actors. But it was only a spoiler that leaked Monday. The hacks also shared a ransom note in the form of a video demanding that HBO pay millions of dollars or else even more sensitive company data will be posted online. The note was shared as a brazier video with scrolling text set to Game of Thrones soundtrack, which included in Monday's dump. In the video sent to Pelper, attained by Mashable, the hackers say that they wanted up to $7.5 million in Bitcoin delivered later this week. We often launch 2 major operations in a year, and often annual income is about $12 to $15 million. One moment, because fucking bikes are a-holes and they have to be stupid ass loud because people with small gotta feel big some kind of way. So let's continue on with the story. We don't play with you, so you in return don't play with us. You only have 3 days to make a decision, so decide wisely. HBO is apparently the hacker's 17th target, and they've claimed only 3 have failed to pay up. While it's still unclear how the hack was carried out, the ransom note does point out that the hacker spent about $400,000 to $500,000 in a year to buy zero-day exploits that detail hints at the possibility that the hackers purchased an exploit of software vulnerable online to break into HBO systems. If that is what happened, it's similar to the Sony hack in 2014, when hackers believed to be linked to North Korea breached the media giant's computer network. They released tens of thousands of internal emails, as well as the social security numbers of thousands of employees, which led to the multi-million-dollar settlement for Sony employees. The Sony attack shared a very similar code to the WannaCry ransom attack in May, which took advantage of the vulnerability in Windows that has been found and stockpiled by the NSA. That vulnerability was leaked out last year by hackers calling themselves the Shadow Brokers. Hackers buy and sell software vulnerabilities on the dark web and other pseudonymous forums. The exploits are then often used to create malware or execute an attack. While it's unclear what HBO could have done differently without knowing how the attack was carried out, one thing is certain: malware attacks are on the rise. Thousands of new malware samples every day are popping up, said Steve Corbin, the chief technology officer at McAfee, a security firm. The vast majority are driven by criminal activity. According to recent data from the McAfee, the first quarter of 2017 alone counted nearly 100 million more incidents of malware than the first quarter of 2016. A decent chunk of that malware is actually ransomware, which is when an attack locks down a user's data until someone pays up or fulfills the hacker's request. In the first quarter of 2017, McAbee found that 9,597,233 math cases of ransomware, a huge uptick from the first quarter of 2016, when a security firm found 6,029,206 incidents of ransomware. How HBO now has to decide whether to pay up, try to somehow stop the hackers from leaking, or risk losing even more valuable intellectual property. But the real damage might have nothing to do with the Game of Thrones. With the Sony hack, the information leaked out from private emails between executives were far more harmful than the stolen intellectual property. After all, HBO members are already paying customers who presumably want more than a handful of episodes of shows. So it's not clear that it will lose any subscribers, nor is it clear that most Game of Thrones fans would even know where to begin to look for hacked scripts or episode. The main thing HBO is probably worried about is whether the hackers accessed any of the media's company dirty laundry and its stolen emails and documents. That damage is often much, much harder to recover from than a leaked television episode. Think they got anything juicy in those emails? Leave your thoughts in the comment sections below. If you like what I do, like what you see, leave likes, comments, subscribes, ring the bell so you know when I upload my next video. Thank you. You could have spent your time anywhere with anyone in the world, but you chose to spend it here with me. And for that, I'm truly thankful. And I'll see you next time on the Dewan Moore Show. Later, guys.